In this video, we'll talk about the two types of appellate costs, how to ask the court to waive them, and the cost of transcripts. We will not discuss fee waivers for filing a new case. For more information about waiving court fees in a new case and not an appeal, please watch the video, Can't Afford to Pay Court Filing Fees. Before you begin the process of appealing your case, be sure you understand the different court levels in Maryland and which court will consider your appeal. For more information, visit mdcourts.gov/courts/about. First, let's talk about the two types of appellate costs. Both costs are usually paid upfront. The first covers the cost of assembling the record for an appeal. That fee goes to the lower court. The second cost is a filing fee charged by the higher court. Pay both fees in the lower court. If you choose to appeal your case and believe you cannot afford to pay the cost of filing, you can ask the court to waive these fees. Now let's discuss how to ask the court to waive appellate costs. First, you must complete two forms, one for each type of appellate cost. Warning, these forms have really long names, so you will want to make a note. The first form is a request for a waiver of prepaid costs for assembling the record for an appeal, Form CCDC-091. The second form is a request for a waiver of appellate costs, Form CCDC-092. Both forms contain restricted financial information. For this reason, you must also complete and attach to both documents Form MDJ-008, Notice Regarding Restricted Information. By submitting the waiver forms, you are asking the court to dismiss the prepaid appellate costs. Please note, you may still owe those costs at the end of your case. Let me explain. When the court grants a waiver of prepaid costs, the requirement to pay costs upfront is waived, but the costs may still be owed later when your case is over. If you believe you will not be able to afford the costs at the end of your case, you can ask the court to waive those final fees. But keep in mind, regardless of when you submit the request, the judge will not rule on waiving final costs until the end of your case. Submit the two waiver forms we discussed, as well as a restricted information form to the trial court, the court that heard your original case. The trial court has 5 days to make a decision about your requests to waive costs for assembling the record. The trial court will then send its decision to the court hearing the appeal. They will also send the higher court the request to waive the filing fee. The higher court has 5 days to make a decision about waiving the filing fee. Once the higher court has ruled on your request, the judge will issue an order stating how the court ruled. The court will send you copies of each order. Both types of appellate costs will be waived automatically if you are represented by an approved legal services provider, including Maryland Legal Aid and the Office of the Public Defender. Your lawyer must, however, certify that there are good grounds to support your appeal and that you are still eligible for their representation. If you do not have a lawyer, or if your lawyer is not an approved provider, your request to waive prepaid appellate costs will be decided by a judge. If your request is denied, in whole or in part, you must pay the unwaived portion of the fees within 10 days of the date the order was issued. If you do not pay, your appeal will be stricken and dismissed by the trial court. Finally, a word about transcript costs. Depending on your case, you will need to pay for transcripts of the lower court trial. These can be expensive. If your original case was heard in a circuit court, the court cannot waive transcript costs. If your case was heard in a district court, you can ask to waive transcript costs. Remember, not all appeals require a transcript. For more information, view the tip sheet for this video. Let's review. If you believe that you cannot afford to pay the appeal costs, you must complete two forms, CCDC-091 and CCDC-092. File both forms with the trial court where your case was originally heard. The court will notify you after a judge has ruled on those requests. For more information, visit mdcourts.gov/fee waiver. Thanks for watching. I hope this information is helpful.